I noted in 21, 22, 23, Biden had memory loss, difficulty with tasks, challenges with problem solving, confusion, visual and spatial difficulty, walking, remember all the different times he turned, mood changes, irritation, write it down, memory loss, difficulty with tasks, challenge with problem solving, confusion, visual and spatial difficulties, and mood changes. Classic. You could tell every time he was before the American public that he was demented. And I'm on record stating that he had moderate to severe dementia, even back in 22.
What kind of doctor are you?
I am a trauma surgeon, general surgeon, intensive care unit guy. Ran a major trauma center for years.
Yeah.
Evaluated patients like this almost every.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
The president gets the best medical care in the world, we're told. You saw it. All of us have talked to many doctors who saw the same thing. How could his doctor not have seen it?
Well, the other thing I've been is one of the busiest med legal docs for plaintiffs in the country for years. This is absolute medical negligence.
But how could his doctor? Answer my question if you would, though. How could his doctor not see it?
Oh, they saw it.
So that's actually my question. Is there a doctor-patient confidentiality that if Dr. O'Connor saw this decline, he was, where is the line between, I mean, I would assume that his answer, if he were asked this question, would say, if in fact I did see anything which I can't confirm or deny, I would be bound by doctor-patient confidentiality from discussing any of that. Is that a fair, or am I wrong on that?
No, you're right. That's very fair. The HIPAA, HIPAA goes across all lines, but then you get into where the president is in the 25th Amendment.
Well, but there's that. But there's also the fact that he filled out. He wrote a letter every year saying he's fit to serve.
That's why I say this is gross medical negligence.
Well, it's an abuse of the public trust. If you're right, if any doctor could see it with their plain eyes, don't even need to have him as a patient. It's a gross abuse of the public trust. And of course, as we've said here many times, it's also a professional malpractice on the part of the media, because how often did they seek out doctors like you? Not that often.
Well,
so Doc, question of whether those statements were edited by the political team.
So I want to just, since Mark started a role-playing episode, let's just play this out for a second. Okay. I'm Kamala Harris. I come to you and I cackle and I say, Dr. Simon, I'm worried about the president, whether he's fit to serve. I don't know whether to invoke the 25th Amendment. What can you tell me about his fitness to serve? What could you respond to me?
I could easily respond to you data points, which I just gave you.
Well, but besides observational, are there tests that could be given to demonstrate with science?
Sure. You could do an MRI. You could see brain changes, which you do see. You see it with CTE. You see it with Alzheimer's disease. Even with dementia, Alzheimer's disease is the axons and part of the, I'm not going to get real specific because I'm not a neurologist, but there's distinct changes that go on in the brain.
Yeah.
But when you're evaluating somebody, whether they're competent or not, and you have to do that as a physician, you're going to do it based upon history and what's been going on and the progression given to you by the patient and the family, and then you're going to do a physical examination. Now, we've been able, with Joe Biden, be able to look at him on TV multiple times, and you all know, everybody knew, the general public knew, and then he was hidden, and the somnolence and the inability to stay awake at international meetings, all of these things you put together, bingo.
Yeah.
You've got a diagnosis, and that's how you diagnose things. If you want to go to the next thing, which is radio imaging, you can. But from a clinical standpoint, Joe Biden, without question, showed dementia.
Doctor, thank you. Grateful to you for coming in. Appreciate it. Wish you'd had a line to the president's doctor in real time. They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations.
Thank you for your service to America.